didn't know what I was going to do. I went through a pretty huge identity crisis.
You get these negative thoughts in your mind, basically, that'll say, oh, don't do that. That's too much of a risk. Stay in your comfort zone.
It did get hard sometimes, but we still stand strong.
I'm not just a comedian. I have a much bigger message than that.
I found what I was great at and what I love to do.
When my times are tough, I stop and I think, this is my new baby, and I can make it exactly what I want it to be.
The business means everything to me.
Find your focus. Make sure that you are solving a need. And never, ever quit.
I love the sun, constant sun, and then the weather and, you know, the water. I was just drawn to the water.
Hey everybody, I'm Fox 4 Morning News anchor Chris Shaw. It's kind of hard to believe it took us 15 episodes to get to a business like this in Southwest Florida.
You see, when I find the businesses for this series, a lot of the time I get them from a county tax assessor website. It's where new business owners go to register. Here in Southwest Florida, there are a lot of lawn and janitorial and charter boat companies opening up. These guys are different though, and it's not just where they came from, it's their relationship, their easy, relaxed feeling, and their mission to turn something they love into a business. There are times when you start a new business when it seems like the water moving things along is agonizingly slow. And then there are other times when it feels like the tide changes so quickly you can't keep up. So as these two men push off on their adventure together, their goal is just to relax and enjoy the ride.
The water was like a magnet to us, and we basically were drawn towards it.
It's always been that way for Blake Schwinn and his son Taylor.
What is it about the water that attracted you?
It's got to be, the sea life and how there's an abundance of different fish.
You see, where they used to live in Missouri, there's nothing like this. And that magnet that drew them to Florida for vacation every year,
I love the Gulf,
eventually led Blake to decide to just move here. And Taylor was right behind him.
If you would have moved to Alaska instead of Southwest Florida, would you have moved there?
I believe so. Yeah, I honestly think so. That's how close we are.
So they have a bond and a love of the water, and they both thought the next step was a no-brainer.
We were driving by a boat reseller, and the boat reseller had a few boats in his lot, so I told my son, I said, let's go in there and see what he's got.
Both of us were just like, oh my gosh, this could be it.
They weren't just looking at a boat, they saw a new path forward.
The boat needed fixed up, but when you can see something that's not all put together already and you can envision it, that's, I think, when we knew.
They knew this could be a business, so they bought the boat and spent money to fix it up. And Taylor went to school to become a captain for their new charter business. For him, it's a career change, of course, and for Blake, it's a way to eventually sail into retirement.
How do you feel about the risk here?
There's always a risk in business. To us, the risk is not doing it.
What do you mean?
If we weren't doing this, then we would trudge along our way. Our kids would basically, find some, type of job or career, and we would then have to take time away from that to come on vacation as opposed to living in vacation.
That's the mindset. It's why they call the business Chillax Custom Charters. Chillax because that's the way they feel on the water, and custom because they plan to offer a wide range of services to make each charter unique.
Does it mean more, do you think, because it's a family business?
It does. I think it does. And I think we, definitely stand out a little bit because of how close we are and how we want it to stay a family business.
Who knows where the waves will take them, but as long as they have each other and the water, they're right where they want to be.
There's been, I think, maybe a couple times where we've been like, this might be a little bit more than we expected, but you know, you go out that next day on the water, you're like, okay, this is why I'm doing it, you know? So I don't see anything that could possibly stop us in our tracks.
There was a reason for Chillax custom charters. It's because, you know, you think about, and I thought about being a customer, put myself in the customer spot. Well, at the core of customer is custom. And that's what we want to do for every one of our folks that want to take a little ride with us and enjoy this beautiful Southwest Florida near coast waters.
We've added multiple things to the boat and kind of customized it to our own liking since then. And like my father said, we wanted to make sure the custom part was very apparent. So we, have any little touches here and there as if I was a customer. That's what we've added to the boat.
What kinds of things?
So we have fresh water in 2 different areas for wash downs. You get, if you jump in the water here, you kind of come out and you have salt on you and stuff. I mean, I've got 2 hoses where you can wash down very quickly. We've got a nice changing area with a private restroom on board. We've got the whole boat is covered in a dark canopy, so the people kind of like me that are a little fair-skinned can actually still enjoy the water in the areas that we're going to, but still not have to worry about getting roasted. So
it took work to get here, and that work actually made us understand and appreciate more what this business is going to do for others as far as what they're going to be able to experience. But at the same time, we recognized what we didn't know and the fact that there is so much more. We can't wait for the experience. Quite honestly, every time we'll do a charter, we're basically going to be enjoying it with our customers.
So for you, is this a full-time job, or are you still working your other job, or you're all?
I'm all into this, as well as that's why I got my towing license as well, because I'd like to be able to branch out and do different things on the water, and I don't want to do just one thing. I'd like to branch out and see what other services that we could offer. Also we kind of noticed early off that almost every time you go out in the water, someone locally, when you're coming back in the canal, usually is in need of something, or we've come across a lot of people that the motor started smoking. Well, that's an alarm right there. Everyone on board, and we've actually come across at night someone stuck in a canal with the motor had smoked. They were dead in the water, and they SOS'd me with a flashlight because that's all they had, and we were able to tow them back into the dock and get all 6 people off board. So that's why I'd like to be able to do more than one thing on the water.
Monday of this week, I went to Fort Myers, here to Parker Commons off of Daniels Parkway for something special, something Lindsay Smith has been working on for months. I first told you her story back in episode 7. She had a successful career as a hospitality executive, but health problems and a family tragedy led her to reevaluate and reinvent her life. In March, she thought she was just weeks away from opening her new yoga studio here. But her construction permits were delayed, and ultimately the county denied them. So she had to find a new location, and a couple of months later than she expected, it is finally happening.
We had our first class today, and it was great. We had 4 students show up, and Miss Charlotte taught the class, and they walked in and they were super excited to be back into a studio. And they congregated in the tea room, and they loved the feel and the vibe of everything, and it was nice to hear that.
Vibe Yoga is officially in business. Lindsay and her son gave me a tour in between classes.
Little teacher area. Teachers can work out their sequences, and we kind of brainstorm on workshops that we're doing.
It was a mad dash to get the studio opened. In just 2 weeks, she, her husband, and their staff completely remade this space.
So it's great. I stressed to the max, but I love it.
The stress of getting ready now turns to the stress of crunching numbers.
Getting all of the payroll figured out, the the management part of it, of actually running the business side of it now, not just getting all this open.
Lindsay will also teach some classes, and she needs to find time for her family. But that's running a small business, and right now, after everything she has been through, she is focused on making her journey mean something. What happens next?
We fill these classes. We put tons into sales and marketing, and we're offering tons of promos. We are getting out there to appreciation weeks for Nurses Appreciation Week and Teacher Appreciation Week, and just getting everybody free passes to come in and get their zen on and relax a little bit, especially teachers and first responders.
Lindsay has a number in mind, a minimum number of clients it's going to take each month to keep the business open. She's halfway there now, and she thinks that is a good start.
You just don't come up with an idea and present it to the people, and then you're not around. You have to work this thing. So you create it, but you have to work it.
Next week, finding success again in a new place for a new reason. If you have any questions or comments, you can reach me at chris.shaw@fox4now.com. You can also find me on Facebook and Twitter. Until next Thursday, this is Southwest Florida Reinvented, moving forward.